Hi everybody, it's Louisa again, and I have a project share for you. This is for a swap that I am in with Muriel. We agreed on altering a Michael's canvas bag, and this is actually the third. I did one recently for Nicole. We did a altered bag as well, but that bag was different. So this time it's one of those like a flat, just without any pockets, Michael's bag. And yeah, so we just decided to do that, and we're also doing with this a altered postcard from our state, which I haven't done yet. I'm going to do that next, so that will be in a separate video. Anyway, so here is my bag. You already saw the pictures. The majority of everything, well, all these large ruffles that you see here, that was all attached with fabric tack. I did make a pocket here, which you could see, also attached with fabric tack. I couldn't figure out how to get this in my machine to actually sew it in, so I just used fabric tack. And then the rest, like all these pieces that are tucked in, even this stuff, and then the trims here, they're all attached with hot glue. I think it's perfectly fine. You know, I don't find anything coming off, so hopefully it stays that way. So let me just go ahead and start pointing things out for you. I really enjoyed making this bag, and I actually put it on like a regular handbag to see how it would look, and I loved it. So I might, you know, go and buy another canvas bag, but look more like a purse and then decorate it the same way. I don't know. We might be seeing that. Okay, so I started off by adding a pocket. Now, the last time I did a Michael's bag, I pretty much did the same thing. I added a pocket and then just decorated it, but I left the side that says my stuff, and I'll show you that bag now, just so you can get an idea and you can see the difference in them. Here is my first one that I had done a while back. So I did a pocket, but out of lace, so you really can't use this too much. You know, because you might rip the lace. So you could put like really light, like paper, maybe a couple sheets of paper or something. And I think I used fabric tack in that too. Anyway, so completely different, but as you can see, I did leave it so that you can still see the my stuff part of it. And this is the front, and it's got this really huge bling. I should be showing this side, but I have it facing this way. I think I'll put it this way. So yeah, that was my first ever. And then if you had seen the one that I had made for Nicole, it was more a bag that you can stand up because it had a nice wide base. So that was different. And now this one, what I did was I went online. I went actually through Pinterest and searched for ideas for like shabby chic altered handbags, and I just saw a whole bunch of stuff, and I came up with this. So the trims that I use, they all come off of my thrift store findings. Whenever I do go, I haven't gone in a long time. I go through the linen section and the bedding, you know, and just look for like curtains and bedding and tablecloths that have really pretty ruffles, colors that I don't have to do anything with. And like this is a curtain, the top part of the curtains, I forgot what you call them. Not the valance, or maybe it is valance, I don't know. So as you can see, it has double ruffles here, so I did use part of that. So, you know, I just pick them up if they're cheap and, you know, wash them. And some of them I leave whole like this, and some I just cut off all the ruffle. Like a bed skirt, I'm not going to keep the whole thing because it's just too big. So I'll just cut off all the ruffles and then keep it in a little tote in my closet. So this one was off of a pillow sham, and I actually saved some of the fabric off of that. And this was a curtain. This was part of the curtain, and here is the ruffle for it. It's like a yellowish cream color. And there's part of that blue one again. This was probably off bedding. Maybe pillows too, because I know I had bought pillows. You see, I just, you know, haphazardly cut it and save those trims. And again, another piece here, probably bedding or something, I don't know. So I already had all that stuff in my stash. Of course, I had plenty of doilies and lace and trims, so I didn't need to buy anything. I even had this bag in my stash. Okay, so I started off with adding my pocket, and I did use the fabric tack. I just simply folded the fabric in and glued it down in 3 sides, and, you know, got my pocket. And then on the bottom, I just added that pink ruffle. Now you see it's not finished. That's exactly where I cut it, and it's not finished. It's not sewed up or anything. I just tacked it down or glued it down with the fabric tack on one side, and then I did the other side. When I was finished adding all these larger ruffles, then I came in and started adding these doilies, and I actually used hot glue for that. So this particular one here I had gotten a long time ago from somebody, and it looks like it's a vintage doily. It's fabric here and then lace. I cut it into 3 parts. I had it for so long and I really didn't want to cut it, but it had to go into this project. It was like perfect. So I cut it in 3 parts so that I could tuck it in here, and that covers up that unfinished edge there. And then to cover up this edge, I put another partial doily here. I think this one's Michael's maybe. And then to cover up the whole thing, I just added this double pleated trim that I think is from Hobby Lobby. And then a cream Chinese braid trim there for the center. So it looks like that. And then on the top, I added this ruffle here, and that's to the pocket part. And that's the fabric up here is actually finished. The seam is actually finished already, so I didn't have to worry about that. So I just glued down this ruffle, this eyelet trim that I think I picked up from the paper bag lady. Believe that this one was with the fabric tack, and then this one was all hot glued on. Then this trim with the pearls is from Hobby Lobby, I believe. I don't even know where my stuff comes from anymore because I shop everywhere. And that was hot glued on. And when I finished all these ruffles, I will turn this around. I added, to sort of finish my edges, I added the Chinese braid trim on the sides, on my handles, just to finish that, on the top here, and it covers the seam of that. On the bottom, I ended my Chinese braid here, so to cover that, I added these cute little cream bows on both sides. with that I actually use fabric tack to secure it on. So now we go to the front, which is my favorite part. Let me fix all this stuff here. Okay. Whoops. Okay, right there. So this is my favorite part. Now you just want to touch everything with this because it's got so much going on and it just feels like it's soft and touchable. So I started off with that blue ruffle and I actually left it whole. It comes like this, the two. It's got this space here. I actually just cut it up here. I didn't cut the two ruffles and then attached the top first with the glue and then this part, you know, and then I just tacked a little bit in between just to get that down. And then I just started layering another ruffle that's right actually, what's this one? Yeah, this one. I went with the pink here. And then this white one. So that's all with fabric tack. This one, and see here, this is where the original My Stuff thing was. Another one of these. Now when I put these pink ruffles, I accidentally put it backwards, so the finished edge is actually facing in, but actually it looks okay that way. It doesn't really matter. And then here, and this one, and then when I was done adding those, then I tucked in another piece of that doily that I had in the front, and I put it to one side. I layered in a pretty, very transparent lace, and that's just peeking underneath that pink. But I was putting it in to kind of cover this a little bit. Then I added a different doily. I think this is also Paper Bag Lady. I actually added the whole thing on that one. And those are hot glued in. And it's off, you know, a little bit to the side. And in this one, I have to fix it so you can see the dangles. You could see, where'd it go? All these dangles here. It's another different type of trim. And then you've got another piece of doily from the Paper Bag Lady. You could totally see where that was cut and then added. And then some more of that really pretty lace. And I don't think there's anything in between this one, but on here is that last piece, the third piece of that doily. It was a pretty big doily that I put underneath, and I put that to the side. There's nothing under that one. And then on top of this yellowish one, I added this big corner, like an applique, and I just glued the two ends down. I think I used the fabric tack. There were certain things that I wanted to be sure I used the fabric tack, but unfortunately those bottles are so hard to squeeze that I couldn't do the entire project that way, but I think everything is in pretty secure. Then here's the other half of the doily that's down here. These two are right in the dead center, and then I finished it all off with some more of this trim. Now this part goes and looks like it goes all the way around, so it kind of, see, it goes here and then it meets so that it's kind of all the same width up here. I wanted that to be the same width. So to finish it, I wanted to put a few flowers, not a lot, and I wanted them to be fabric. And I also wanted some stuff dangling. So I started off with some of this pink fabric that came off of the pink ruffle, and I just literally ripped it by hand, made it very rough looking, and I put them down with the fabric tack. I wanted them to be secure, as well as 3 strands of seam binding. There's 3 strands there, and I had a little bit of this left over, like 3 of these flowers, so I laid that on top of all these pieces that are just hanging here, so that the little dangles here would also dangle on top. You can kind of see it right here. And then I made a bow out of this fabric, this lace that somebody gave me. It was wrapped around something. I don't know, maybe a pocket letter. I can't remember. But I love the color. It looks kind of like a vintage lace. So I glued that down on top of all of these pieces, again with the fabric tag and this little bow. That's the same bows that is down here. And then after I put that, I put my flowers. Now this is a Jolie's flower. I absolutely love it. Even though there's no gray in this, this really goes nicely with it. And then this is another Jolie's, and again this color is not in here, but it still goes really nice, and it already has this lace and everything in there. So just a little bit of pop of color. And then I wanted something else. Couldn't find anything to go here, and I remembered my little stash of handmade flowers and things from my friends that I've done swaps with or from racks. And this whole little flower here with the fabric, doilies, bling, fibers was in there. And this is from Tammy, SS Crafter 1. It's for one of our older swaps. And the shade of blue is exactly the same color as this blue here. So it was like perfect for that. So thank you, Tammy, for that. I finally used another one of your flowers. And it has a nice bling on it, so I didn't have to add anything else. I thought that one little bling was just right for this. I didn't want to overdo it, but I did want to overdo this. I really wanted that lush look to this. And you could just hang this on your door and throw maybe some lace and trims in here, or whatever she wants to put in here. So this part, you can put as much as you want. The handles, everything is original to the bag. As far as the back, I wouldn't put too much stuff in here, because again, it is held with just fabric tack, and I don't know how well fabric tack holds. I think it holds pretty good, but I don't want to find out the hard way. One of the things that I forgot to mention is when I had done this, I hung off the ruffle off the end of the bag, so it extended the look of the bag. It's actually just here, so it makes it look longer. But I had two different types, and all this stuff was all flaring out. It had the rough edges, which was kind of cute, but I wanted to clean it up. So what I did was I took my hot glue gun, and down on the two bottom ones, I glued together the two ends, so it looks almost like it was sewn together, but it's not. It's just with hot glue. And then I went and just did the same thing and just turned in all the edges of all the ruffles in and just hot glued them down one at a time before I added the extra inserts. So it just kind of finished it off, and that's when I also added this trim on the side. So you can kind of see here also how everything was just turned in, and now I didn't have any rough edges on the outside. It looked a little more cleaner, and you won't have like a whole bunch of strings being pulled out. So that was just something I forgot to mention. But this part here, I didn't mind that it was like frayed. I actually purposely started pulling some more strings on that just to give it a little more shabby look. So there you go. There's my bag for Muriel. I hope she likes it. And now I got to go and work on the postcard. And then what else? I think that's it for now. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye now.